Do it.
All right, go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's the one and only V, the Guerrilla Economist, coming to you live on this edition of Cuss with Gus. And we are bringing you all the wonderful things that Gus always gives us, which is always fun and entertaining. But before we start the broadcast, we're going to ask that you go check out our sponsors. I want you to get over there right now, perpetualassets.com. Perpetualassets.com. That is the place if you are worried about your assets, specifically your 401k becoming a 101k, then you need to get a hold of Gus and Will over at perpetualassets.com and let these guys show you how to take your investments by the balls. Be the master of your own destiny. Be the Thanos in your life and do your own little infinity snap and get over to perpetualassets.com and get your life in order. Grow some balls, get a spine. Do it now, perpetualassets.com. With that being said, Gus, what's going on, buddy?
Having our best year ever, dude.
Isn't it great?
Having our
Isn't it great?
Me and Will talked to CJ a couple days ago about it all. But during the on Monday, Black Monday 2.0. And we're not only the company is doing well, but I forget about fiduciary responsibility. Me personally, so the minute the last 3 weeks, you can't honestly, volatility always gives it away. Long-term volatility. And we're many times, a lot of people in our sector or in our ideology kind of focus on individual asset classes instead of the macro. But no, this shit's melting. And even although we've been talking about it for a while, and even like the last 3-4 weeks, I'm like, dude, these swings aren't normal. To friends who aren't quote unquote in metal or crypto or whatever, Monday the common man became a believer, if that makes sense. So at that point you could no longer ignore it. Like, oh my God, holy shit, we're going into like top 5 all-time crash days. So yeah, shit got real. It's not over. I said then, and this is it. This is it. Everything. The 11-year bull run is over. The everything's coming home to roost. Everything's gonna mark to market. I don't know if it's gonna last for 60 days. Me and CJ before we went live, we're talking. I don't know if it's gonna last for 60 days or 3 years, but this is it. Playtime is over. Everyone who thought they were a genius, a Goldman Sachs trader the last 10 years, that's all over. The financial advisors who have been giving you their performance since 2009, which is, you could have had a monkey throwing a fucking dart at a dartboard on the S&P and becoming rich. But that's all ended now. We've entered into bear market. We've entered into crash territory. We've entered into recession, whatever. I don't usually like, on the equity side, the 2 major U.S. indexes, I don't usually like predicting bottoms. But for me to take my short, personally, this is asterisk, this is not financial advice, but for me to take my shorts off right now, I would wait to turn my shorts into longs. I would wait S&P. Me personally, I'm waiting S&P 200, Dow 17,000. That's what I'm thinking. And I would not. I'm not jumping in before that. And I don't. You could get into individual sectors or get into the micro of individual winners and losers. But in regards to the 2 indexes as a whole, I would say 17 and 2000.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on a mask.
dude, it's real. It's all real. Yesterday, the last 2 days before, I was telling CJ, I'm like, what's blah blah blah. I'm like, no, the last 2 days I've just been literally shorting and booking international travel, meaning that like the time to buy is when there's fucking blood in the streets, man. It's just that simple.
Hell yeah.
People love paying. The average person on the street loves overpaying for assets. They buy during manias, and they love underpaying for consumer products for some reason. So they'll when they see a sale at fucking JCPenney on shoes or a purse, they'll fucking run their ass over there. But when they see blood in the streets and assets, like the time to buy land was 2009, 2010. The time to buy equities was that. The time to buy, cryptos was after they crashed. I mean, the look for value. So literally yesterday, I booked 2 international fucking trips. Like, so blood in the streets. Great. Oh, dude, I'm going to Italy.
Like, why not? Everything will be dirt cheap.
Yeah, I'm not going.
The non-virus.
Yeah, I'm not going tomorrow. But look at airfare right now. I think I sent you guys the screenshot. Trips to Chicago were like $60 or something round trip from Vegas, and I'm like, holy fuck,
$53.
Yeah. The time, while, and I hate quoting the old Buffett with his playing his fucking ukulele or whatever, but old man Buffett once said, and it's a good point. It's like the time to be calm is when everyone else is panicking, and the time to panic is when everyone else is being calm. Like the contrarian point of view, look for value. There will be, if this thing is melting the way I'm very confident it's going to melt, either short-term, long-term, look for value, things that are totally out of fucking whack, things that are, I'm not talking, like right now, the worst thing you could do is go spend $50 for a roll of toilet paper and for something you could buy a round trip to Chicago for. Something like that's an example. One is totally overvalued because of the mania. One is totally undervalued because of the mania. This is also a time, the next 3 months, if this really turns into fucking like a deep recession or depression, is you look at swapping out assets. Liquidity, if liquidity and gold keep performing as good as they're doing, let's say gold goes to 2,000 or 2,500, that's when I would consider starting to swap out gold for assets that are just got crushed. That could be anything. That could be a barrel of oil. That could be an acre of land. That could be a specific equity or something. But the look for value, undervalued, overvalued, whatever. Shit is going to come home to roost. And I use the airline as the air travel as an example right now. That's great fucking value. So it's real, man. It's here. Everything everyone's been talking about in our sector and ideology for the last 10 years, you're in the middle of it right now. So everyone, you could sit around and do nothing, or you could grab it by the fucking throat and try to monetize it.
Well, here locally in New York, we have the National Guard on the ground. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did. Dude, it's escalating, bro. It's escalating. It's you actually, we were texting on Sunday night, all three of us. And it was, I was like, holy shit, look at the future. I pointed out the equities plunge on the future side at circuit breaker. And you're like, and I think you were implying like, no, dude, it's oil. Like you called the oil pretty early.
Yeah.
So it's you have two black swans right now. So you have this oil tension going on, and then you have the corona shit going on, and then you have this bull market that's been inflated for fucking 10, 11 years. So yeah, this is it, man. This is it. It just needed, like they say, like the Joker says, it just needed a push. So these two events were the push for the bubble to pop. So we've been talking in detail. I just don't know. I don't know what the administration's going to throw at it. They're talking about payroll tax. I think at this point, everything's kind of a Band-Aid. On the political side of things, as someone who's Republican, my only hope is that it's a quick fucking, and that's what me and CJ were talking about before we went live. My only hope is that this is quick, like 87. If Trump's going to win re-election, this can't be an 08, 09. That he'll lose in November. If it's that bad for a long period of time, that's going to hurt politically. If it's quick, 60 days, 90 days, and this fucking thing starts bouncing back in September or August or whatever, then he's going to be fine. That would be my opinion about it anyway.
I'm looking at this whole entire thing. I'm seeing what's happening internationally and here, and I think, and I think it was last week where we had a group of scientists from Shenzhen University. They just completed a study on the coronavirus, and they're just waiting peer review right now. They were studying the virulency as well as the infection rates and means of transmission. They found out that the sweet spot of this virus is about 47.7 degrees Fahrenheit is a sweet spot for this thing. So one of the things that I mentioned when this thing popped off and they said it's a coronavirus, knowing what this type of family of viruses are, these suckers they have a lot of seasonality built into them, meaning they don't fare well in hot, humid climates or when the temperatures get higher. It gets harder and harder for them to spread because sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. When you look at a coronavirus, just like all viruses that are RNA type, they're all made of lipids and proteins, and these things are vulnerable to to sunlight and high temperatures. So that's why when you see the cases that are in Central and South America and the hotter, humid climates below the south of the equator, places like in India, the virus is not doing well. It's not spreading as it should be, or as we thought. So that's one good thing that we're hoping that if we get a hot spring, a nice warm spring weather coming, and with summer around the corner, that will buy us some time. It will buy us some time where by the time that this thing comes back around for a round 2, which I'm sure that it will, a vaccine can be ready, can be prepared, and more measures can be taken to mitigate this. The other thing, looking at it is I think the second biggest hotspot outside of China right now is, and China's starting to call down. From what I hear, they shut down their second largest quarantine center, so cases are starting to subside there, as well as in South Korea, as well as in Singapore and Hong Kong. In fact, I have a buddy of mine who's already walking the streets of Hong Kong without any sort of problems. The thing is, this thing is like running rampant in Italy. The question that's being asked, and I got friends of mine that are in Italy. Yeah, they're in quarantine, they're on lockdown, they're doing the whole social distancing thing over there. What you don't see in Italy is for something that's a quote unquote pandemic and so dangerous and so virulent and this, that, and the other. You don't see the overcrowded emergency rooms. You don't see the stacked emergency rooms of people panicking and all that stuff. If this is so damn bad. And guys, I think you and I kind of, and CJ, we talked about this earlier last time. This virus is doing more harm economically than anything else.
Dude, people are treating it like it's 1985 AIDS, like where it meaning that I don't know if anyone under that's a lie. I was going to say I don't know if anyone under 60 has even died from it, but they might have.
Average age of death right now is about 80.
Yeah, no. If
everybody had underlying conditions,
for you to be under 60 years old, first of all, if you're a child or 20 or 30, you're again, unless you have an issue with your immune system already, or like you said, an existing condition, or you're an elderly, this shit doesn't really apply to you.
Yeah,
and that's what and numerous people have come out and said that, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, do you want to keep your 70 and 80-year-old mother and father, off out of this shit? Yes.
Well, it depends on the person. I mean, some people
I didn't say mother-in-law. I said mother, right? But for like a healthy 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old person, you're gonna be fine. Even if you catch a shit, you're gonna be fine. And that's not some YouTube business owning finance guy saying it. That's everyone agrees on that. It doesn't matter doesn't matter if you're talking to China officials, Italian officials, U.S. officials. It's like, this is for people with bad immune systems. Like that.
So I'm glad you said that. So CJ, could you pull up the front page of Drudge real quick?
Yeah.
You gotta watch. Like we're saying that we're keeping level-headed. We're like, dude, like 20 people in a geriatric ward died. Okay, and the whole country's going to shit right now.
That's what, dude. The number of U.S. deaths is like 30, which is like a weekend in Chicago.
Yeah.
Think about that. The world economy is melting right now. People, women are getting in fist fights over fucking toilet paper
Yeah.
And literally, that's how many kids get shot in Chicago every weekend. Like that's it. It's
Gus, you nailed it, bro. I love what you said. That's a weekend in Chicago.
That's it. That dude, that's what I mean. People are like, when you take a look back at that, you could drive the herd. I said people are treating this like 1985 AIDS. Like, this isn't a death sentence, dude. It's a fucking flu. Like, for fuck's sake. Again, if you're older and you have immune issues, or you already have some sort of respiratory issue, fine. But the evidence is pretty clear. This is at every side of the spectrum. No one has come out and said, yeah, dude, if you're a healthy 30-year-old, you're gonna be fucking fine. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, wake the fuck up. I mean, so that's why, again, where others see, panic and fucking chaos, I see opportunity. Like, I'm like, okay, shit, you guys want no problem. We've been to flip it back. Maybe this is just me being a fucking greedy capitalist. I'm still pissed. I was still in college during the fucking .com. I'm still pissed. Like, we look for these opportunities that only come along every 5 years, every 10 years. I wish I'd put more money in crypto in 2013. Like, we look for these opportunities that don't come along very often. And then the famous buy
high, sell low.
Well, the famous Steve Jobs quote during his commencement speech at Stanford that one year was like, it's easy to connect the dots looking backwards. So when you look back, you can make sense of everything. You're like, oh yeah, I should have done that, should have done that, should have done that. But when people are like in the eye of the storm, that's what's funny to me. It's like, let's go get fucking vitamin C and water. I'm like, dude, go get some.
Like, yo, you know what's funny? It's like, I look at all the pictures of these idiots buying the bulk food items. The stores are the shelves are stocked sky high. The toilet paper's gone.
Dude, TP. That's
what are they doing?
Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, I'll just, dude, if a Mad Max situation, that's what I've always laughed, and I literally always bust Will's balls about it. Not bust his balls, I just keep reminding him. If a Mad Max situation breaks out, dude, you don't need toilet paper. You need guns and ammo, because people are going to be knocking on your fucking door like, thank you for the free toilet paper, dumb fuck. I'll see you later. Like, yeah, dude, just, as long as you're
or when somebody comes to your house with a band of merry men, and they knock on your door and they realize, wait a minute, this asshole doesn't have any food in his house. He has toilet paper.
It's dude, come on. I have like 3 months of reserves for everything, but I've had that shit for 10 years. Like, so I have that in case of anything: flood, earthquake, hurricane, whatever the fuck it is. But when you dive into the micro of this thing, and we've been talking about it now for weeks, it's a fucking flu. It's a type of.
It is.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Called it from. I think we all called it when this whole thing. It's a bad flu.
Yeah.
No, it's not V. No, it's not Gus. No, it's not CJ. What is this? It's an airborne Ebola. It's going to liquefy your organs. You will bleed from every orifice and die in 24 hours. It's the end of the world. I must go get my cat food and toilet paper.
But isn't this another example of how easily the herd is driven?
Yep.
Like,
hey, Gus, how many people died today from diarrhea?
Dude, how many people died today from a champagne corkscrew? Probably 3. I mean, seriously, if you look back at all the times, dude, weapons of mass destruction, all the times there's been mass hysteria where the herd gets behind narrative that is total. Obamacare is actually another one. But there's all sorts of these narratives where you see people lose their mind all at once and under total bullshit. Remember that? Who was that African guy in that village? They were trying to get the CIA. Syria is another one. They would mind fuck the public with the Syria thing for years, trying to invade the fucking country. And there was another African dictator I remember was trending like.
Coney.
Yes.
The fake Coney that never existed.
You have these like housewives who like are on social media all day, like, we gotta go Coney. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, bitch. I'm like, bitch, go make me some pasta. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, COVID is the new Coney of 2020, baby.
Dude, you could manipulate this herd.
Of course, it's so easy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So because I think I read a study. It was like 70% of the adults in the world are hyper suggestible.
Agreeable, 100%.
Yeah, totally. They'll go along with it. It's dude. There's no rhyme or reason. People see, dude. If I went into if I did a social media post of me and CJ running into a grocery store and grabbing fruit roll-ups, fruit roll-ups will be empty throughout the entire country. Nobody knows why they're hoarding fruit roll-ups. Same as this whole toilet paper phenomenon. Nobody knows why they're hoarding toilet paper. Why do you need that much toilet paper?
It's a famous study in psychology. I think it's just referred to, if you Google it, the Yale study. They actually made a movie about it too, where these people, it was psychological tests where they invite these people in and they have these strangers electronically zap someone in the other room, and the other person in the other room starts screaming and whatever, because someone in authority is telling them, oh, it's fine, just keep going. The herd, the person off the street will keep zapping. It was all fake. The purpose of the experiment is to find out if someone will listen to a person in authority, no questions asked, if that person, so it's kind of like a concentration camp guards or whatever. Like, how the fuck did everyone in Germany lose their minds or whatever, or Maoist China or Stalinist Russia? They didn't lose their minds. People just, the herd does go on. Yeah.
70% of people are dumb as fuck. I have no other way of putting it. I'm sorry.
They're impressionable, agreeable.
Very impressionable.
Yeah. They'll believe whatever they're told, especially if it comes from someone they perceive to be a position of authority. It's actually a logical
terrifying.
Balance. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And so that's why it's fascinating to watch, and that's okay, man. Like I said, I booked Italy for September. I'll be there. I'm breaking through the quarantine.
What if they quarantined? What if you get quarantined out there?
When I come back, I'll be speaking Italian. That's all.
There you go.
I'll stay longer. I can still work from there. It just becomes a night job. No,
yeah, it's true. It becomes a night job.
Yeah, instead of working from 6 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon, I work from 5 p.m. to midnight or whatever. Yeah, no,
that's not bad.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. There are worse places to be stranded than Venice.
Dude, there are. Man, if I was stuck in Italy, I'd have some buffalo mozzarella, eating the finest foods, knocking back an espresso with a Schuylkill, and handling business. The streets will be empty. Everybody, screaming around, quarantine and whatnot. It's great. I love it.
Me and the Pope smoking cigarettes, telling jokes. Fuck yeah, it'd be hilarious.
Dude, that guy's on his way out, man. I hope he dies.
He might have it. He's the guy who should be worried. He's the guy who should be worried.
He only has one lung. Because when he was a kid, when he was a kid, he had tuberculosis. So he had half of his lung lopped off, and he also has a bad kidney. So he's very susceptible to
corona. That's a motherfucker who should be worried.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, dude. Like I said, man, I'm out there. Doesn't matter if it's shit I've been holding off. It doesn't matter if it's asset classes. Doesn't matter what it is. I view this shit as opportunity. Let them go fucking nuts. Let them all go nuts. I'm okay with that. The only thing I will say, selfishly, politically speaking, I hope, and me and CJ kind of got into this before we went live. I hope it's short, like 69. I hope, and that's just for political reasons, man. I would hate to see the Biden, dementia Biden, in there fucking because of this thing.
This whole thing is being manipulated from the top down, man. Let me explain something, man. I'll tell you this. Look at the way the media has been so weaponized against the non-virus virus. Okay, look. 17,000 people in this country died because of the swine flu. Remember that, Gus? H1N1.
Yeah.
17,000. 30 people died at a geriatric ward, and we're literally losing we're shitting the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No,
it's ridiculous.
When you really look at the number, like that's what I don't understand. People can't see properly. Like it's any number is tragic, fine, but and we talked about it. Like I brought up the example of like the Charlottesville girl who died, that commie who got run over. It was like, yeah, fine, but like, does that give you the right for a communist revolution now? Like what? Like the people's dude, the herds, they just fuck with them, man. And people, they put fear is just, dude. We talk about it investing all the time. It's fear and greed. Like, so the two most powerful things from
buying. Now's the time to strike.
Yeah, dude, fear and greed. So the time when everyone's greedy, you should be fearful.
You should be fearful.
Yeah, and when everyone's fearful, you should be greedy.
You should be greedy.
And that's what
that was what Buffett.
Yeah. It's 100% spot on. There's nothing but fear out there right now, and that's why
buying.
Dude, thank you, sucker.
Consolidating that's happening right now.
Yeah,
everybody's wondering why the crypto market took a shit, and I broke it down on the Patreon. I'll explain to everybody listening here today. It's because you had a company called Pulse Token, right? There was a Ponzi scheme that was started, and people were like, well, what's the big deal? How could a Ponzi scheme affect the entire crypto market? Well, this Ponzi scheme was so damn effective. They were valued at $17 billion valuation.
What?
And they amassed $3.4 billion, bro. Dude, you know how much Bitcoin they amassed? 13,000 BTC, 13,000 Bitcoins, 729,000 Ethers, and 86 million EOSs.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So what happened over the weekend, and I was watching this, a few of my partners and associates were watching this as well. They were dumping that wallet over the weekend. They're like, oh, here goes the crypto market, and boom. And that's where we are. They're almost done dumping it and moving it around. They're taking, and everybody, dude, law enforcement agencies are watching that wallet. A lot of people, because there's one guy who was, 6 of the individuals who ran the scheme got arrested. There's one guy, he's still out there. They can't find him. And that wallet started to move over the weekend, and everybody's watching it, because what he does, he moves it. Oh, fire alarm's going on. Hold on.
Oh, shit.
That's a National Guard doing their checks.
I'm being quarantined. Get out. No, don't touch me there. Okay. But so anyway, they move it from that wall. They move it into what's called mixers to kind of cover their tracks. So if you do a coin analysis, you won't see that it came from this dirty wallet. And that's why the BTC market is down. Folks, use this as an opportunity to start scooping up some cryptos, but no, they're gonna sit there and hovel. The funny thing is, man, look at how everybody moved into freaking 10-year treasuries. The most stupidest thing in the world, bro.
No, dude. Like I said, man, I've been shorting equities now for 3 or 4 weeks. I will eventually go long once it hits a couple of my targets. But one thing we have learned, especially in the 3 assets we sell, my company, gold, silver, and crypto, and I don't have to get into individual examples, but you can't, at this point, you can't deny the last 90 days. Gold still is the fucking safe haven. Like, so not only amongst our sector, but amongst the world. So there are only 2 things performing well right now: cash and gold. Everything else is taking a shit the last 90 days. So silver, I would argue silver, it's the industrial demand holding it down. So when you start talking about everyone losing their fucking mind and deflation and supply chain, that's going to hurt industrial use of silver. So silver is being held back because of its industrial demand. But gold is an inflation hedge. Gold is a zombie apocalypse hedge. Gold is a central banking fucking balance sheet. Gold is the bad boy right now. It's like, fuck you. I told you, look at my dude. It's doing it. And given what's going on with every other asset, bonds, commodities, equities, gold is kicking fucking ass right now. So God, good. God bless.
Yeah.
Cryptos, we thought cryptos would act as more of a safe haven. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, shit hits, chaos starts, exactly what we're seeing now. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, I'd say gold and crypto is going to be, everyone's going to run to it. But it could be what you brought up, that brought down a fucking a correction on crypto, or honestly, it could just be crypto hasn't graduated there yet. Like, it will be one day viewed as a safe haven, but it's just not. We're too early, and it hasn't crashed yet. It hasn't gotten down to fucking 2018 levels. But I thought crypto would act even more bullish than gold the last 90 days, and it hasn't. There could be numerous reasons behind that. If you ask me my opinion or my thesis, be like, maybe we're just not in the life cycle of crypto yet, where people understand that it could act as a safe haven, because it can. But maybe big money has pulled out in regard, because they're worried about everything else. So the guy with $100 million in the bank, like, where he'd love to, he would, and again, this is John Doe, his net worth 100 million or whatever. If he'd love to speculate on crypto with 5% of his money, but then he sees the world economy melting the last 90 days, like, all of a sudden his attention is drawn away from speculation and put into preservation. So he's like, oh, protect yourself. But fuck, the rest of his portfolio is melting. So the last thing on his mind is crypto right now. But gold, no, gold's acting as the zombie hedge right now. And good. I mean, again, I mean, I have multiple ponies in this race, and gold's doing great.
Here you go, V. Here's what you need to get for NYC. See it? Isn't that nice?
There is nothing more dangerous in these times, though, than having a Democratic mayor or governor. That's what's Como and fucking De Blasio on the New York side. In California, you have fucking Gavin Newsom or whatever. It's those. I don't trust those motherfuckers when everything's fine, let alone when shit's going fucking nuts.
Hey, before I forget, there's a great discussion. It's a 30-minute phone call between Jeffrey Gunlock and Danielle DiMartino Booth. Definitely worth every second of listening to it as they talk a little bit around what their thoughts are on the future ahead. It's a great discussion.
Here's what I think is going to happen. This weather's going to get really good. This virus thing is going to die down, and when they start realizing the massive levels of people that the emergency rooms are not as jam-packed as people were expecting it to be, and the media is hyping the hell out of this thing, and when that fails, the market's going to be back with a vengeance. Right now there's two things that are very plentiful: cheap money and cheap oil. And when you have this much cheap money lying around with this much cheap energy lying around, this thing goes nowhere but up. Dow 35,000. Get the t-shirts, buckle your seatbelts on. It's on, baby. It's going to start in August.
What's your bottom, though? You want to pick a bottom too?
I call the bottom between 18 and 21,000.
We're not far off. I would say 17.
Not far off.
No, I'm 17, but you're not far off. I'm right there with you. We need a little bit more blood in the streets to give. Again, man, 11-year bull markets aren't fucking normal.
No,
that's the bottom line. Historically,
it's a massive bubble.
Yeah, historically,
it's
usually historically 5 to 6. What we've seen has only happened like 1 or 2 other times in U.S. history. So to see asset classes and specifically equities do what they've done in the last 10, 11 years is not normal. It should have never happened. But it did happen, and that's why I think it's going to pull back. But after it pulls back, you want to see it pull back, because that's when you can come in and buy shit cheap, like that. Pennies on the dollar, baby. Pennies on the dollar. Like,
I love a finance freak says, "Whoa, Dow 35,000. Jesus, what the f are you smoking?" Well, when I said Dow 29,000, when the Dow was 15, everybody said the same thing. So
no, yeah, you there, dude. Buy low, sell high, motherfucker. Like it's 101. It's let it come back. When it comes back, pile on when you're ready, and blah blah blah. But it's don't view this as get greedy. Get fucking greedy now. Like, watch what's going on, and there's a time it's going to be time to pull the trigger. And if your cup of tea is not equities, there might be something else. It might be oil. Like I said, oil's not staying here forever, baby.
Dude, there's a rally. All I sense is a massive bull market. I talked to some of these institutional guys in the back end. All they're sensing is a massive bull market coming in cryptos and in commodities, bro. Commodities is a sleeping giant, my man. Especially now, the focus is what? Industrialization, manufacturing, America's got to start digging its own rare earth. This is getting into the mindset, man.
Well, and think about it. Doesn't matter if we're talking about monetary policy or fiscal policy. They have two levers they could play with. The reaction when they're trying to fucking right the ship is for expansion of the Treasury's balance sheet through fiscal policy, and then monetary policy via interest rates or the Fed's balance sheet. And what does that do? It causes inflation. That's what we saw with gold when it hit 1900 in 09. Like we saw, it's time to start printing money. It's time to toxic assets on the Fed's balance sheet. Time to TARP, blah, blah, blah. So
they got to stick the inflation somewhere. They're going to stick it right into the market.
They have no choice. That's what they always do. Yeah, that's what they always do.
And that's why the Dow's going to be 35,000.
Yeah,
with a fake rally.
Look for bargains out there. Don't stop. Listen. Stop worrying about toilet paper and look to make a fortune. Their fortunes will be made in this mother. I love the phrase "fortunes will be made" during this. It happens every time this shit goes crazy. Doesn't matter if you're talking about the Kennedy family in 1929 or the fucking taper in 08, 09. Like people become oligarchs out of the back end of this shit. So yeah, this is not a time to freak out. I think this is a time to start, while everyone else is freaking out, you utilize, greed, common sense, whatever. Maybe greed's a powerful word, but I don't mind it. But
I don't mind it either.
No, fuck no. Keep your cool, man. Keep your cool. Again, this doesn't. If you have elderly people in your life, I don't want my mom going to fucking a Cubs game next week. But it's outside of that, like, dude, it doesn't. If you're a healthy adult or even child, it doesn't fucking affect you. Like like you said, man, people fucking freaking out. You see all these people 30 years old wearing masks in Seattle. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't get it, man. I don't fucking get it.
It's crazy.
You definitely think it doesn't matter how this plays out. You know as well as I do, they're going to use it as such ammo politically.
Oh yeah. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't matter if it's fucking for the election, for gun control. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. They're gonna milk this fucking thing for all it's worth.
Yeah, dude, it's so ridiculous, man. Like I said, it's like it's been in Italy right now for a month. Where the hell are the packed ER rooms? Where is it?
They're freaking out, man. Everyone's freaking out, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to use it to do things. My next thing is, if this shit goes really the way I want to, it's time to buy my first yellow gold Rolex then. Like, I'm just waiting for. I'm waiting.
Gus, that's what I'm wondering. Will this coronavirus pop the Rolex bubble? That's what I want to know.
They canceled Basel, bro.
I can't believe it, man. Dude, I was looking forward to the release of the new Submariner and a whole bunch of reworked new models. I was like, oh man,
they canceled Basel. I think the Chicago St. Patty's Day Parade, I think that's officially been canceled. New York Marathon, right? Or so I heard something like that this morning. So yeah, dude, people are freaking the fuck out. It's escalating quickly, and this is I always forget his name. It's people lose their minds in herds, but only recover, come to their senses slowly and one by one. Meaning that just like everyone's freaking out at the same time right now, you're not going to see them snap out of it all at the same time.
No,
they snap out of it slowly and steady. It's strange like that. It's strange like that.
In the chat, we have Gilbert Novak. Gilbert says he talked to a guy in Italy, told me the news we're getting here is total BS. Gilbert, I agree with you, and I can corroborate also, Gus. I've talked to clients in Italy. They're like, again, I said it. It's like, what? What's happening? Like, everything seems normal except no one's going out. Like, there's no jammed up emergency rooms and panic. And this is a psyop, man. This thing, something doesn't smell right in Wuhan, bro.
No, dude, I think it's being 100% politicized and used as a weapon for the herd. Number one, but on the economic side, I think it was the domino that needed to drop anyway. So from the economic side, they're like, oh, okay, it's just a flu, whatever. I don't know if it's going to recover right away, because I think smart money, the smart money, the big money, the hedge funds, the pension plan, all those guys, they've been waiting for this. These people are not, you know, they're not retail investors. They're like, yeah, 10-year bull markets are fucking weird. Like they know it's the Wall Street 2 quote. It's you know, bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. It's it was time for something, and people just needed a fucking excuse.
Yeah,
money needed an excuse to you know, wait
take
for
profit.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how much profit has been made? They're like, oh my God, $5 trillion of wealth has been wiped out of the market. No, $5 trillion in profits we're taking. Wealth is not wiped from the market.
No,
wealth is only taken from the market, and casinos are built on losses.
People got liquid, man. That's all that happened. People sold off shit, got liquid, and they're riding this thing out. Now, sophisticated investors, I would never give this advice to someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. But sophisticated investors, or you know, hedge funds or whatever, they've been riding and trading volatility for a month or 6 weeks, or shorting on the way down. But for the average Joe, just sitting there with a fucking, you know, retail E-Trade account or whatever, I would say explaining how to short on fucking margin might be too difficult for you, but just stay liquid and wait. Like, just wait. Sit there and with your cash and fucking wait. And then pounce back on, jump back on once you know, the chaos has stopped. Or you could get, if you really want to be conservative, you can even dollar cost average back in. But whatever, it depends on your method. But the big money, dude, volatility always gives it away. Long-term volatility, meaning that the swings we've been seeing for the last 3-4 weeks, everyone should have known. Well, the money did know. That's why they've been doing what they've been doing. But like, people are like, oh, it's all right. It's a net. They think it's a net neutral because of the index aggregate, but it's that kind of volatility is not a net neutral. That tells you something's going on behind fucking the scenes when you have huge swings like that. There's just too much movement. It's not normal, whatever. So that was the first indicator. Then the smoking gun was, like you said, the second domino. Once oil hit on Sunday, forget about it. That's when you have two. That's when you have two black swans, and that's when playtime's over. So, like I said, man, fucking get smart. This is the time to fucking get rich. And I hate being that you know, dumbed down about it, but let everyone freak the fuck out. Yeah, leave your feelings at the door, leave your emotions at the door. Forget about anything. This is the time to be a robotic, objective motherfucker and get fucking greedy. Again, I'm just telling, and I don't even, dude, I'm sitting here talking about when to pop into oil or equities. I don't even sell that shit. Like, it doesn't even benefit me. I'm giving you my personal belief. This has nothing to do with my business. This doesn't affect my business at all. I sell fucking crypto, gold, and silver, and retirement accounts. Yeah, you could get a retirement account through us and do all that shit, but this is independent of that. This is me telling you there's going to be a time you should pounce on fucking oil or the S&P or short it or whatever. It's like that's honestly just what I've been doing, and studying the last 150 years of this country's economic system. Like, that's exactly what this looks like. The only thing I'm hoping for, and this is me being slightly emotional about it, politically emotional. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and I'm not saying it is. I'm hoping it's an 87, because I don't want to see dementia fucking Biden in there. That's my hope. I don't know if I'm fucking wrong or not. I might be wrong. It might be a 2-year I don't know. But them being able to capitalize from this politically would fucking piss me off. Can you imagine what that fucking administration would look like? You'd have a bunch of fucking Obama stooges behind the scenes. That you'd have butt plug in there. You'd have Harris. You'd have Beto, the Irish Robert, who fucking took the name Beto for something. Like, you'd have all these fucking cucks in there, and all these Obama fucking neoliberals, it'd be, oh God, we'd go through that again. Oh, no fucking way. That'd be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
One of our guys in the chat, Dixie, he said that and right now in the UK is the Cheltenham Festival, which is right now a massive crowd of 70,000, extremely well to do. It's the sport of kings, extremely well to do, very famous thing. CJ, if you can pull up the Cheltenham Festival, it's not canceled. It's going on right now. What's going on right now? I mean, people got to get there with trains, planes, and you name it, right? And
good for them. Good for them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yo, my kid's school is like closed. Is going to be shut down for the next 2 weeks.
They shut it down.
Yeah, for I think starting next week or so, they're shutting it down. It's crazy.
Does this have anything to do with spring break? No,
nope.
Independent of spring break. Wow.
They're like, due to the fears of the coronavirus, we're going to be shutting down and we're going to be doing classes remotely. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
so I better go right now and get toilet paper. I'm running right now to Costco to get toilet paper.
I literally, and someone.
There it is, the Cheltenham Festival. Hey, dude, you know how many millionaires and billionaires are showing up to that?
Yeah, well, because they know this is all bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah, goddamn, they've started with the schools, dude. I don't think one kid has died from this thing. Maybe I'm wrong.
If you're a kid, you're immune.
We've had only 3 cases here in Indiana, and 2 of the largest universities went to online classes starting post spring break. So Purdue University, Indiana University, there's no more face-to-face classroom settings until further notice.
CJ, can you tell me? I'm going to watch that interview later. You sent the link too. But what's their thesis on how long this is going to drag out? They're saying this is like a 2-3 year thing.
Not necessarily a thesis, just more of the implications of it. When you look at post 2008, the service sector economy that's been driven. Danielle gave some very interesting statistics based upon how many jobs were created related to hospitality. I believe it was like one of 10 jobs created post 2008 was in that sector, and how that's going to be impacted with this. In regards to the events and schools and everything, and I'd never thought about this or even considered it, but apparently she has a friend that's a huge concert organizer, massive events and everything. The reason why a lot of these conferences and everything are canceling is no one will write the insurance on these events. So there's no pandemic insurance policy that will cover this, nor can they buy one. So it's more of a liability risk assessment. And that's why schools are doing it as well. They can't afford the extra cleaning staff to come in and be wiping everything down and the continuous cycle and everything. It's unfortunate, guys. It really is. But yeah, so that risk factor. But I don't, it's definitely worth, going to listen to. They are surprised right now that Ford it hasn't filed bankruptcy yet. But apparently Ford and also American Airlines are on the brink right now, where they probably will file bankruptcy within the next 36 days.
Why?
Just their debt and their stock has plummeted, and the potential risk of the credit market freezing up here is a real assessment of potentially what's going to happen. The next 30 to 60 days, that these companies that were heavy needing credit capital to keep going, that potential market may dry up a little bit.
I didn't even think about this, and shame on me, especially living in fucking Las Vegas. I didn't even think about the service industry portion of it. Meaning that's a great point that everyone's been saying for 20 years. They shipped away all the industrial jobs, manufacturing, and we've migrated over to a service economy, which is fucking true. And that's a great point. If you fucking chop the legs off of people, it doesn't matter if it's restaurants, concerts, hotels, airline, like. God damn. Yeah, that is. I didn't even think about that, but it's true. It's true. Something like this, where consumer confidence goes away, the herd stops wanting to go out, they're all wearing masks and lighting campfires at home. Then yeah. Well, dude, I told you the story, and I don't. This is before we went live. My friends who were coming out here for March Madness, one of them, the minute shit hit the fan on Saturday, Sunday, he called the Cosmopolitan Hotel, which is, I don't know how many of you have never been to Vegas. It's one of the I would argue Encore wins like the nicest baller hotel. If you're like 40, 50 years old, that's where the oligarchs hang out. But if you're looking to get quote unquote in trouble at night, Cosmo's the play. Like that's where the hookers hang out. So basically, he called back. He called Cosmo, and he kind of implied that he wants to cancel. It's like, hey, I'm looking at my options here, this virus thing, and they're like, we'll give you 2 free nights. They started giving shit away, which those motherfuckers never do.
Right.
Unless you're, losing your ass, they might give you an omelet or something. But that's the point of desperation they're hitting. And again, we talk about, so he got the 2 nights comped. So he's here for like 3 days. He's only paying for one of them. And he texts us on the thread. He's like, he started laughing. He's like, they're giving shit away. And that's when I'm like, God damn, I got to start looking at travel. Like, well, that's right. They're giving shit away. Yeah, man, fuck. But from a macro perspective, yeah, what the fuck's going on with these hotels? What's going on? I mean, if they're the airline is a great point too. I mean, look what happened post 9/11. Like those, a lot of them consolidated, a lot of them didn't make it. I mean, I don't know. I don't. You're talking about people and jobs and shit and the herd, and a part of me is like, okay, that's bad. But what part of me is like, okay, let them declare bank, let them go down, let those share prices go down. I'll start pouncing.
Cuss, what is this going to do with like, you're a purveyor of gentlemen's clubs. What is this going to do with lap dances? How's that going to be effective?
I was telling CJ before we went live, I'm going to try pulling 4 to 5 strippers out for March Madness I was going to say 50 cents on the dollar. I might go 25 cents on the dollar. be like, listen, bitch. The Asian businessmen you were pulling out a year ago are gone. There's no more. No one's coming here from fucking China anymore, pulling you guys out at $1,000 a night. Let me pull you out of here for $200-$300. So yeah, that's gonna be. You think I'm kidding? I'm not even kidding. March Madness. No. I got 3 boys here for I'm entertaining for 4 days. So yeah, we're gonna be visiting quote unquote gentlemen's clubs quite a bit, and I am gonna be so cutthroat with the negotiations. It's gonna be.
Well, you'll probably see dancers wearing hazmat suits.
It's gonna, dude. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be a savage. Like, and I'll be honest with you, for anyone listening, my whole purpose of going to gentlemen's clubs is a half-hour negotiation on what it's going to cost me to pull the bitch out of there. So I don't go in there and spend 10 grand for a 4-hour boner. That's a total waste of money. I go in there. I start negotiating with multiple and be like, my place, 2 hours. Can it be done? What does it cost? Like it's straight Yeah, so I'll test her out first. I'll get 1 lap dance, and I'll be like, all right, let's get a lap dance. Test out the product. Again,
it's all a commodity and a transaction for you, bro.
100%. The purpose is to pull the bitch out of there. Like I'm not going to Sapphire crazy. I'm not going to any of these places.
You're such a savage.
Well, dude, some guys.
I love it.
Amigo, listen. I never understood the logic of paying big money for a boner. Like some guys are like, oh yeah, let's make it rain in Champagne Room. I'm like,
let's make it rain. $10,000 later.
I'm like,
why do they do this?
I'm like, for a boner? Like really? Like for a hard on? You want to pay thousands of dollars for a hard on? I go in there, dude, like a fuck it. I view them like a bunch of cattle. I'm like, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. And some are down to play, some aren't down to play. I would say it's probably 50-50. Meaning that like, no, dude, these are work. It's dude, the joke is made in the movie The Hangover, where she's like, yeah, I told you this last night. I'm a stripper. She goes, well, actually, I'm an escort, but it's a great way to meet clients. Like that, it's actually true. Like it's 50% of them are hooks. Like wake the fuck up. So put away your erections, boys, and close the deal. Like get in there. Forget about how she's going to tell you you're handsome and you're brilliant and all. That's all bullshit. Like she's already like laying the stake for the negotiation. So get in there, be cutthroat, pull. But I will. God, will I wear condoms now? I don't know. I'm still up in the air about the condom thing. Yeah, I'm gonna. Like I said, I view this all as opportunity. my negotiations are going to be much more harsh now than they would have been 2 months ago. I maybe again, call me a capitalist, dude. It's all about supply and demand, bro. Am I right? I mean,
yeah.
The dudes coming off the jets from Japan and China. That's where if you want to know about the inflated stripper and hooker market, that's where it came from.
Them.
It's the Asian money, yeah. Because there are no questions asked.
Hello.
Yeah,
you want to take you out on the night?
Yeah, it's the dudes coming over from Saudi Arabia with oil money. That's where they skew the market with the bid ask. So the dudes, they come all over. They come in from all over the world, and they're like, "I'll give you $5,000 for half an hour at my hotel." It's like, Jesus.
I'll give you $5,000 for 10 seconds.
Yes,
for me to just smell you.
And in the girls' minds, they're like, "All right, so instead of churning out volume, I could just churn out a sucker a week. Like you give me one, one hedge fund manager, one oil tycoon a week that pays all my bills. So I don't have to pump and dump a guy an hour. I could fucking get one sucker a week, and that'll take care of my shit." So that's how these girls think. I mean, again, I've over the years I've become friends with a few of them, but they view dudes as marks.
Absolutely,
yeah. For them, it's utter business. It's pure business. These are working girls. Dude, total savages. It's working girls. But at least you get the price up front. Like, at least you not like the gold digging, like a gold digger girlfriend, which is the absolute worst thing in the world. That's when you don't know. But yes, good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
Wise words, my man. Wise words.
Life is funny, dude. Life is funny. You just remember
everything's a transaction, brother. That's what people don't understand. If you boil everything down, it is a transaction. Everything in life is a transaction. Marriage, friends, family, business, all of it is a transaction.
Of course, it's business, dude. And listen, a lot of this is just evolutionary biology, right?
Of course it is. All it is biology. All of it.
When women bullshit some men and they're like, "Oh no, I love you for you," blah, blah. Like, dude, listen to me. There's a reason homeless guys don't get pussy, but hedge fund managers have a line of models around the corner. Like, let's cut the bullshit,
dude,
right?
Men are success symbols, women are sex symbols.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. It's like, dude, survey after survey. The most beautiful woman will want, like, if she can get 10% of a really great guy who's successful, who has the resources, she'd do it.
Of course. That's why
if she can get 10%. It's the biological drivers have not changed. That's why you could have you could be in a workplace, you can be in an office building or whatnot. There could be 50 women in there working, and there could be one guy. And the fact of the matter, biologically and medically and scientifically speaking, every single one of the menstrual cycles on every single one of those 50 women, they'll all sync up in one. Why is that? That's a fact. It's a medical fact.
Isn't that hilarious? And the first time I heard that, I was probably in my 20s, that the women's menstrual cycles sync up. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, how? Think about that for a minute. Think about how fucked up that is. Not fun. It's just incredible. I mean, they're like, "Oh yeah, we've been best friends now, so it took us a year to sync up our." I'm like, what? Like, yeah. When the first time you hear that, you almost don't believe it, but it's absolutely fucking true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right, man.
Crazy times. We've covered a lot on this call.
I love it, bro. A little sociology, a little history, a little economics,
econ, finance, virus, strip club.
Only on Cuss with Gus, bro.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I love it. And dude, let's be honest. We're the only show that you can do this on. Period.
Yeah. Well, what? But listen, man. And I know they like the Trump grab him by the pussy line. But if people wonder, if women wonder, this is how men really talk when you're not around. Like, so there's a reason I've stood up at 25 fucking weddings. This is guys being real. That's all it is. When people aren't on their best behavior and the boys are talking, doesn't matter if it's at a ball game or at a poker table. This is how we talk. I mean, everything's in play. We don't, Dude, I'm incapable of bullshit, man. I like being real. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, exactly, and that's what the world is, man.
It's guys, real quick, we'll have to get W on this, but you remember how they said the virus was really spread by bats? They were eating bats. Well, the U.S. announced a quarter back in February of this year, with a fruit on the backside of it.
Fuck me dead. Look
Is
at
that
that.
tingling or what?
That's it. That's it. It's all over, boys. It's all the year of the bat. It's fucking great.
Hilarious.
Anyway, it's been a blast, boys, as always.
Always, my man.
Yeah, good call. Until next week. Next week is March Madness. I'll have a lot to talk about before that. Go Villanova. But yeah, don't panic. Keep your head on straight. Like I said, I've been saying this for the last 70. Fortunes will be made in the next 3 to 6 months.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Now's the time to get in. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy.
100%, baby. 100%.
All right. With that being said, we're over and out, folks. Enjoy your weekends. Hit subscribe, like, and share with your crazy friends. And take it away, CJ.